Hola, Toddwardo. Happy 50th, my man. Let me start out just by saying these are the best of times, and we, yes, we, are the best of men. I'm happy to be able to say that we've been friends for 33 of your first 50 years, and here's to 33, 35, 50 more for us to collect more memories and enjoy more times. I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate your birthday than to try to dredge up some old memories and reminisce with you a little bit, even over the distance with those. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoyed dredging them up. We've had a lot of good times. I remember the first time we met, you and Steve came down on Summit Drive, came down and were teaching me some mad marching skills to try to build Sergeant Melton's corps, and we're going to form a dynasty that we were going to rule with an iron fist for 3 years of the ROTC group there. All that worked out really smashingly. I remember us going down after school sometimes to Fast Fair, and we could spend a quarter and play joust all day and beat the unbeatable pterodactyl, and remember having a good time doing that. Remember hanging out with you at one point during a snowstorm, drinking beer at your parents' house. You and I had, I think you were legal at the time, walked down to Fast Fair to get some beer and came back up the hill, and some guys in a pickup truck needed someone to kind of wait in the back of their sled. So they piled us in there and gave us a free lift up the hill. Remember that being a good time. And I remember us hanging out, going up to different parties, especially the Big Chill Blowout. It's always a good time. Always an unexpected time. You never kind of knew what was going to happen, but always in the best ways. I remember us escaping from the police up on Helen's Mountain that one time when we were trying to warn who we thought was Michael Nealon of them coming up there to bust everyone, and it turned out not to be him, but I'm not convinced those guys were police anyway. So, and it all worked out in the end. I remember several New Year's that we spent together hanging out in Atlanta a couple times. Remember one in Nashville when you were living out there, us founding the Phoebe Cates Film Festival. So we had that going, but we shouldn't say any more about that. Remember you guys coming down to UNC Charlotte one time for I think we threw a keg party for New Year's Eve, and I think it's the first keg party any of us had ever thrown, and we had a good time. And those girls threw some kind of metallic confetti that I was cleaning up for about 3 years while I was still living in that apartment in Charlotte. I remember weird, odd things like we can bounce that sucker right out of there, referring to your former glory, the Maverick, with its 3-inch armor plating. It's a pretty badass car. But even better was the Rapid Rabbit. Remember doing a lot of racing around town and all over the place in that. Remember visiting you in Mars Hill and meeting Frank. That was fun. Always interesting character. I remember us seeing you at an air show in Shaw Air Force Base. This isn't particularly a good memory, but we do go way back. Remember you were at the Citadel, and you guys came up from the Citadel for the air show at Shaw. And we had come down from Asheville, and just remember seeing you there and seeing how hard the year had been for you. And man, we just wanted to kidnap you and bring you back to Asheville. But I'm glad that finally worked out and you got out of that situation. That was, I'm sure that was tough, man. Remember our times in St. Louis. We living out there, starting our mountain biking career, the foundings of the Arden Expeditionary Force at that time, riding at Castlewood State Park with all of the toxic waste that would probably wash up from the Times Beach, which was upstream of the Missouri River. Probably wasn't the safest place to ride, but we haven't sprouted any extra arms or legs or anything yet, so I guess we're okay. Remember riding at Emmenegger State Park and Cliff Cave, riding the Chubb Trail, which was sort of intimidating at that point. I'm sure we could handle it fine now. Moving that adventure to the Asheville area, riding Pisgah, especially the time the Night Stumblers episode where we got trapped up in the woods and it got dark on us, and we were afraid that we were going to have to spend the night But just right at the last minute, I think you were crawling around feeling the trail and happened to discover a trail sign. So we knew where we were and were able to work our way out, even though we couldn't see 2 feet in front of our faces. That was a good time, even though it was scary at the time. I actually wrote a short story about that. I'll have to share with you sometime. I remember some of the characters we run into over the years. I remember Dallas is awesome, Ronnie Whittaker, and his uncle Sergeant Qualls, who always has some tickets for the air show, and just the K-Ractors that we ran into in different times. Remember mountain biking in Fruita. That was a good trip with that knife edge from Joe's Ridge. Kind of scared the bejeebers out of me, but it was a beautiful trail, and all the trails we rode there. Remember running cross country with me, you, and Dave with those freaky ankles that always point in like this, and he was a lot lighter than us, so he was always in the front, and we have to watch that freak show. Except every once in a while we get a chance to pass him, so that was a good time. I remember after my first trip to Scotland, you coming over, I had a bottle of cask strength Macallan's single malt whiskey, and I made a pot of chili. Those two don't go very well together, as we found out. We had a good time up until then. There's just been so much that we've had a really good run of it. And remember more recently hanging out with you and Val at the brewery down in Hendersonville, and when you guys came up here to visit, that was a good time. It's just all been good, and I am happy to say that you're my friend, and look forward to many more years. And I guess I can end this happy 50th birthday to you simply by saying, word to your mother, word to your mother. Cheers, brother.